for the common entrance exam. Are we on track where that is concerned from a primary level?
Yes, from all reports, we are on track for that 5th of July date. As you would have seen in the media, it is tentative because we don't know exactly how things are going to go in this COVID-19 environment. However, we are working towards that date, and it seems as if the teachers and the students they're doing what is necessary to make sure that they are prepared for that particular date.
And from a secondary level, you've got CSEC and the bigger exams to come. How are we standing or shaping where that is concerned?
Yes, we are getting ready for that as well. The principals and the teachers are working along with the students at the secondary level, those who are doing the CSEC, those who are doing CAPE, those who are doing the CVQs and the other examinations like City and Guilds. I must commend the teachers for the work that they are doing with our children. Some of our teachers stay beyond the 2 o'clock time to help our children reach the goals that they had set out for them and that the students had set out for themselves. So I must commend them for that. At the Ministry of Education, we also have the Learning Development and Examination Preparation Scheme. Last year, December, we had our very first meeting with students to find out their particular needs. And as the time progresses, we've been meeting with them. There are plans in place for teachers and other persons to come in and assist those students either online or face-to-face. So those plans are coming along as well. This Ministry of Education values the education that is given to our students, and we value the education that is provided by our teachers. And it is for that reason that last year, when there were concerns with regard to the grades, that this ministry met with the CSEC to resolve those matters. Those meetings are ongoing. We have asked for a meeting with CSEC. We also have the local registrar at the Ministry of Education who is responsible for all matters dealing with CSEC. And I can tell you that Dr. Rudder is actively dealing with those matters.
Are there specific requests that are being made of the CSEC in relation to the parameters around SBA submission and grading, the timeline for the exams, and some of those other issues that were outlined?
Yes, there have been some questions about the timelines. There are questions also about having broad topics and so on. So those concerns will be raised with CSEC so that we can find some kind of resolution as it relates to our teachers and students.
And on the point about the common entrance exam, we would have heard one of our unions here express some concern about the total transition away from the exam as we know it, and the fact that they would have only heard about it when the estimates were being discussed in Parliament. What other discussions can they expect from the ministry?
Well, that will be fully ventilated in time. And I say this because there is a process that must be followed. Papers and proposals need to go to Cabinet first, and after that, we'll be able to ventilate all of the concerns that we have with all of our stakeholders. But we cannot engage our stakeholders before our proposals go to Cabinet. Yes, so as soon as those we receive approval or we hear some word with regard to the status of that proposal, then we'll be able to engage all of our stakeholders.
So essentially it's not set in stone?
It is not set in stone. And I must say that on that day we were in the Well of Parliament and we didn't set out to discuss that matter. I remember quite clearly that a question was asked, and in response, Dr. Denny, the Director of Education Reform, answered the question as honestly, and I must say that at that time, she stated very clearly that it is a proposal. This is something that we want to take to Cabinet, so it is not set in stone. But as soon as we hear a word from Cabinet, we will, as usual, engage our stakeholders. The Ministry of Education has been in the practice of engaging our partners in education for a number of things. If you will recall, and if you can recall, even in dealing with the roadmap, we've had constant meetings with our unions, with our parents, with our principals, associations, so that we can chart the way forward. And this time is no different. But we have to understand that there is a procedure that must be followed before we can ventilate certain issues with the public.